It is incredibly clear that Donald Trump's assault on the peaceful protesters in Los Angeles is about distraction and intimidation. Now, when this assault started, it was a distraction from his breakup with Elon Musk and his failed immigration policy, his illegal immigration policy. But now, of course, it's a distraction from the fact that he fell on his face today in a humiliating fashion. But Donald Trump is now raising the stakes because he is so embarrassed and wants to appear strong when we know he's weak. That is why he is threatening to arrest Gavin Newsom and losing it in an insane post. We're going to get into both, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into these meltdowns from the Trump administration, we have to start with some on-the-ground context, what's happening in LA right now as Donald Trump's masked thugs are attacking protesters.
Alex, so I am right outside the Federal Building in downtown LA, which is just across the street from the Metropolitan Detention Center. This is where this group of about, at this point, the number of troops has grown since I last spoke to you. About 24 National Guard troops with their vehicles have been stationed here all morning. There actually are traces of tear gas in the air. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming from. I don't know if it's residue from the last couple of days, but a number of people here have been kind of coughing and getting affected by it. In the last hour also, Alex, the tension has definitely gone up pretty significantly. There are more protesters here. A number of them are sort of walking right up to the National Guard troops. The troops have, on a couple of occasions now, tried to get people to move back out onto the street. I'm told that there is a march moving here from Boyle Heights, from Mariachi Plaza specifically, which is a sort of iconic, it's an icon of the immigrant community here in Los Angeles. As to your question about lawmakers, Alex, actually just a few minutes before we went to air, spoke with Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who represents a district in South LA where a lot of the activity has been over the last couple of days. She told me that she, just in the last hour, tried to gain access to the Metropolitan Detention Center, but was turned away by people who work there who did not identify themselves to her. So this is the second time in 2 days, Alex, that sitting members of U.S. Congress have been turned away from this detention center, which they have a legal right to visit for oversight purposes. Now, I asked her about her feeling about everything that's happening, the fact that the troops are here. Take a listen to a little bit of what she told me.
I think now I'm going to go out into the community to see if ICE is doing what it did last night. Okay. They issued tear gas out in these communities. I'm worried about what they possibly can do or what will happen. So I'm going to be around. I may try to come back. I'm going to try and call more elected officials to come out here because of these guards with these guns.
We have been talking for some time about how dangerous it is for Donald Trump's thugs to be covering their face with masks, to refuse to identify themselves, and now they're not letting a sitting congresswoman do her legally obligated job of oversight at an ICE detention facility. They're not going to let her check it out. They're not going to let her see and show the press what Donald Trump is bringing in to assault these peaceful protesters. You saw in the video, people are simply standing. They are standing. Oh no, get the loiterers. What's going to happen to Los Angeles if people stand in their communities? Ooh, such scary times. And it's the reason Gavin Newsom is speaking back forcefully now, and we can see that in this post right here. Newsom wrote, "I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployment of troops in Los Angeles County and return them to my command. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. This is a serious breach of state sovereignty and inflaming tensions while pulling resources from where they're actually needed. Rescind the order, return control to California." Exactly. The same people who talk about states' rights and getting rid of big government are invading California right now. And that call out from Gavin Newsom is exactly what led Donald Trump to melt down. Then we'll see the arrest threat and the crazy post he made.
Could have gotten much worse. You have an incompetent governor. Just take a look at the train stations that he's building. Like 20 times over budget. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So I did call him the other night. I said, look, you got to take care of this. Otherwise, I'm sending in the troops. That's what we did. Thank you very much. You have a question for Marco? Question for Marco?
Donald Trump doesn't even know what he's attacking Gavin Newsom about. At this point, he's just kind of flailing and losing his mind. He knows how weak and feeble and just cognitively in decline he appears. Not appears, he is. And so he's lashing out. And that's what we saw from his border czar, Tom Homan, speaking on behalf of the administration, threatening Gavin Newsom. Trump border czar threatens to arrest Newsom and LA mayor. Border czar Tom Homan threatened to arrest California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass if they interfere with federal immigration enforcement. Donald Trump has taken the extraordinary step of deploying 2,000 National Guard troops to quell protests against immigration and customs enforcement raids in LA, despite objections from Newsom and Bass characterizing demonstrations as out of control and violent. And we can see that call from border czar Tom Homan right here.
I would think every elected governor and every elected mayor, number one responsibility is to remove public safety threats from their communities. That's what he's trying to do, but they're not helping.
There have been threats, previously that if you stand in the way of your enforcement operations, you could be subject potentially to arrest. Are you saying that about Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? Are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. It's a felony to impede law enforcement from doing their job.
And that is key right there.
First of all, Tom Homan always sounds like he has a bunch of marbles in his mouth. So not only can I not understand him, I can't stand hearing him, but that is not where this stopped. Of course, the whole point is to distract and to put on this facade. Donald Trump's all powerful. It's not true. He's weak. And that's why he's melting down on Truth Social, hiding behind his keyboard right here. Trump wrote on Truth Social, a once great American city, Los Angeles, has now been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation operations. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, in coordination with all other relevant departments and agencies, to take all such action necessary to liberate Los Angeles from the migrant invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored, the illegals will be expelled, and Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to the matter. He is just an insane madman at this point. He has very clearly lost his mind. Doesn't know what he's saying. He is completely out of it. And all the same, at the same time, they're hiding. They're trying to act like this is this very public action, but they're trying to hide everything. Again, Maxine Waters was denied from her rightful oversight over these facilities, and she talked all about it when she was on the ground. I want to take a listen to exactly what she had to say in this clip right here.
Yesterday, it seems that ICE was in Los Angeles in a number of neighborhoods, but they arrested David Werta, who is the head of one of our SEIU unions. We don't know why. We don't know where he is. We don't know why they're calling in the National Guard. There's no danger. There's no violence. The President of the United States hates Los Angeles because we're a sanctuary city. He doesn't like us, and we're targeted. And so I believe that he really wants to have martial law to show that he's in charge. He's the President of the United States, and all of the city of LA is targeted.
And what do you think the reaction might be from the community at seeing the National Guard here?
Well, the community really is concerned about the National Guard and whether or not they're going to use the weapons that we see them armed with right here today. Why do they have all these weapons? Who are they going to shoot? And why would they shoot anybody? Even if someone was protesting against ICE, being able to try and deport them. Why would they shoot anybody? There's no need to have weapons here.
And do you think that this is something that could be handled by local Los Angeles police, or do you think that things have gotten out of hand at all in the last couple of days?
Well, the thing about it is everybody's got to be involved. The citizens have got to understand we live in a democracy, and we have a president who wants to be a dictator. And so the citizens have got to be aware that all of the elected officials got to be involved in this. We got to make sure that something disastrous does not happen. that there is no martial law, that there is no civil war going on here. We're going to try and convince the president by the action of the people protesting that they should not be treating people like this.
Do you think that people should continue to protest?
Oh, absolutely. They've got to say, we're human beings. Don't treat us like this. Many of these are trying to get our citizenship. We work every day. We're paying taxes. Please don't kill us. Don't shoot us. Don't treat us like this. I think the people have to be involved.
What do you think the response should be from other elected representatives, other Democrats, for example?
Well, we have plenty of elected officials who were on the street yesterday. We know that they were in some of our cities, and elected officials are trying to send a message to the Trump administration that Los Angeles should not be targeted. No city in this country should be targeted to deport in the way that he wants to show that he's in charge.
I think we can guess if they don't want Democrats doing oversight. One, this is a big spectacle. And two, they're breaking the law because of course they are. That's what this administration is all about. And it will only continue. And as a matter to just make a scene, they're just trying to make a scene. They want to distract us, and they're doing it in the most destructive way possible. But with that understood, it is incumbent upon us to continue to call it out. We're going to be doing so, but we got to get more information, which we saw on the ground from MSNBC right here.
And Alex, I'm also just learning from my colleague Kelly O'Donnell, who says that a White House official told her that the president actually spoke to Gavin Newsom on Friday and said that he needed to get the police in gear because things were getting under control. So that is some news that the president spoke directly to Gavin Newsom again on Friday at these protests were getting underway. But this also should come as no surprise because the president has railed against not just Gavin Newsom, but also officials in Democrat-led cities really since the start of this administration, even going back to his first term. And he has also tried to make it a point that, and his borders are Tom Homan has as well, that if these local officials stand in the way of immigration enforcement, that they will then be prosecuted. Now, Tom Homan, in his interview with my colleague Jacob Sovroff, did make it clear that Governor Newsom and the Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass had not crossed that line just yet, but he did make it clear that if they did, that they would be prosecuted. But you see those live images right there of National Guard troops on the ground in Los Angeles waiting to see if there is any more escalation of those protests throughout this afternoon. We'll certainly be watching, and the administration is watching too. Again, though, the president had already spoken with Governor Gavin Newsom, and he deployed those troops, even despite Newsom's opposition, Alex.
Opposition because Newsom said that we've got it under control and we can handle it, but there you have it. Okay, thank you for that, Kate.
I am so glad to see these protesters fighting back. It is such a powerful image, not only defending their communities from these ICE invasions, but also pushing back against the National Guard, which is attacking them for their rightful place, standing their ground in their community. This is the type of fight that we need. We need elected Democrats behind it. I'm going to be calling for that and talking about it on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.